What's good with y'all boys? My name is Hoods, and if you guys are Americans like me, you guys already know that August, September, this is the start of the NFL or the American Football League, the National Football League, I guess. That's what the actual name is. But with that also comes the best part of that whole entire time, which is the start of fantasy football. So if you guys aren't American or you guys just don't know what fantasy football is, it's basically like a game that you play that coincides with the American football season. And you draft real life players, you put them on your team, and how good they do in that respective week gives you as much points um, if you go up against somebody. So it's basically you go up against your friend, and if your players do better than his players, give you more points, you win. And another thing about fantasy football is that usually, and I mean usually, because people always do this, the loser of the fantasy football league has to do a punishment. And we picked probably one of the craziest punishment of all time. And I genuinely don't think that it could have gone worse. So this was back in my sophomore year of high school, so 2 years ago. And we decided that we were going to sit down and do the dog cage massacre as our punishment. So you guys are hearing this name and you guys are like, oh, what the fuck is that? So I'll explain it to you. You're going to get the loser of our fantasy league to get strapped into a dog cage, and we were just gonna throw any items we could find at him. So this means that we bought crickets, we bought bugs, we bought fucking flour, we bought mustard, we bought ketchup, we bought squids, we bought everything. We literally bought everything. Just as anything that could stick and smelt and it looked like shit, we bought. And we were prepared to use that at the loser. So just put yourself into any one of my, I think it was like a 12-man or 16-man league. Put any one of you guys in my shoes, or any of the people that were also in the league. I was horrified to lose. I was literally like, I don't care. I didn't even care if I won the league because we didn't even do money at that time. We literally didn't even do money. So it was literally just punishment or nothing. If you did the punishment, you were fucked because this was awful, man. Like, just being strapped down, and it's just so dehumanizing. Like, there's nothing really I can explain about it. And I do feel bad for my friend that had to do it, but I'm just happy it wasn't me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just happy it wasn't me. It's better him than me. But fast forward a couple of weeks to the end of the fantasy football season, I was perfectly safe. I was gonna make playoffs, but it was a battle for the last place of the league, or for the last spot of the league. And sadly, my boy had to do it. He had to bite the bullet. He had to do it. And not gonna lie, we went on trips. We literally walked to our local supermarket to pick out a bunch of shit to throw on him. And then we went to a pet store after to pick out bugs. And we literally hit that whole entire trip. And it was just a matter of time when it was time to do it. So sadly, we couldn't find a dog cage, and that would change later. And but I'm getting ahead of myself. But we had to find a plastic chair, right? And it was the time for the dog cage punishment. So it's my boy. He's there. He's wearing his shitty clothes because he's not trying to get messy with like his nice clothes. If I was him, I would have just stripped down and wore goggles. I get it was cold. It was like February or something, or maybe even December. I'm not sure, or maybe January. I don't fucking know. That's besides the point. But I would have stripped down and stayed in goggles. But he decided not to, and we duct tape him all around the chair, and it just happens. Everything just gets let loose. Everything. The smell, the smell, I genuinely can't explain it. The smell was so awful that I still smell it to this day. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I can literally remember the smell. The smell has never gone away. It's been 2 years and I will always remember that smell because that was the most putrid, abhorrent, and absolutely disgusting fucking smell I've ever had the displeasure of smelling in my life. And looking at my friend after he was stuck on that chair, he looked absolutely fucking miserable. And I would be too, but he didn't even look recognizable. His whole face was covered. There are people there that didn't even do the fantasy league and they just came just to do the punishment, which is just like wild to me. Like, what the fuck? Like that at that point, that this is just torture. Because we were like because this is the thing. We went to like the woods to do this because we were like we're not doing this in our backyard. We're not doing it. I'm not doing the shit in my backyard. I'm not having all that fucking shit come over. I remember the smell, sorry. I actually remembered the smell and I started gagging. I'm not even joking. Or that's besides the point. And he it was the the color the color was just like a pink, slushy, slimy, disgusting, like fucking thick, liquidy. I don't even know how to describe it, man. But it was just so bad. It was the worst. It was the worst smell of my life, and it got worse for me. Not for everyone, but for me, because this motherfucker thought it'd be funny to hug me after he was done with the punishment, and I wasn't gonna touch him, so I just walked home and took my shower because at least I was wearing my jacket, so none of it got on my body. But ew, it just smelled like shit, bro. And this motherfucker had the audacity to go and ask me to take a shower at my house. And I would have said go fuck yourself because he hugged me, but I literally couldn't because when he was outside, he was turning blue. Like literally he was turning blue. And I couldn't do anything because he if I didn't give him a shower, he couldn't walk home. No one else was going to give him a shower. No one else could give him a shower, so it would have to be me. Because I'm not letting him walk home because he's fucking blue. He could have like actually like died, bro. I'm not even exaggerating. He could have fucking died. Like we should have picked a better time to do this because doing it in the winter was not good because having all that cold shit stick onto you, it's gonna fuck with your body. Your motherfucker was taking a shower. Even after he was done taking his shower, bro, he was still shivering. Like literally, he was still shivering. And I had to give him a thing of hot chocolate, gave him a brand new thing of clothes, and he was on his way to go back home. And he probably took another shower when he got home. But and that's not the end of the story because what if I told you that this happened again the next year? So fast forward to my junior year. I think this was 2 years ago. Yeah, no, it would have been 2 years ago because I graduated a lot this year. Yeah, I'm retarded. Um, this would have been 2 years ago. I did not join the fantasy football league. The reason why is because I was in Morocco and these motherfuckers wanted to draft when it was 4 a.m. And I wasn't gonna draft when it was 4 a.m. because I was trying to sleep. So I missed the draft. They drafted, but same thing, same people were there. They replaced me with another guy, but the same thing was happening. It was the Dog Cage Massacre Part 2. And this time it was different. So fast forward to the last week of fantasy, it was a tie between two the same kid that did it last year. So this is absolutely awful because you do not want to do this again. This was like you would be dreading this. So the same kid that did it again, or the same kid that did it last year, and another kid, and the other kid won. So the same kid had to do it twice in a row. And if I was him, I would have just quit fantasy right there. I would have not shown my face. I would have left because I'm not doing that shit once, and I'm not doing it again. And this time it was fucking worse because this time we got a dog cage. My webcam literally broke midway of me recording the video, but it's whatever. But yeah. So we got a life-size dog cage and this one was even worse. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get hugged this time, but I still have to give him a shower. It was terrible, but without further ado, boys, I've been Hoods, and remember, don't fucking lose in fantasy.